Let's talk about Python's walrus operator. So we have a function here that accepts a string representing a number and a unit. That's either kilograms or grams. And it returns a tuple of that number converted to an integer and that unit as a string. If we give it something that doesn't match this pattern, it gives us back just that number converted to an integer. So it's assuming whatever we give to it is either this pattern or an integer. We're doing this using regular expressions, which are a form of pattern matching. We're not going to explain regular expressions. What we're going to focus on is these two lines of code here. We're getting either a match object, which we're storing in this match variable, or none. So if match is asking the question, did we get something that is truthy? A match object is truthy, none is falsy, and so we're checking, did we get a match object to work with? We can take these two lines of code and combine them into one using an assignment expression. So before we had an assignment statement and a condition we were checking. Now we have both in one line of code. We're using the walrus operator, which is the thing that powers assignment expressions. So assignment expressions allow us to embed an assignment statement inside of another line of code. And they use this walrus operator here, which is colon equals, different from equals, which is an assignment statement, which has to be a line all on its own. This walrus operator, by the way, is called the walrus operator because it kind of looks like a walrus on its side, where the colon looks sort of like eyes and the equal sign looks kind of like tusks. It was added in Python 3.8. This is a pretty common use case of the walrus operator, a regular expression that we check to see did we get a match object or did we not. Another common use case is in a while loop where you're repeatedly doing something and checking the value of what you got back, but also storing it in a variable at the same time. So this function here takes a file name and gives us back the MD5 checksum of that file. We might do this if we were trying to see, do we have two duplicate files, or did we get the right file we were trying to download from the internet? Are all the bytes correct? So the thing we care about is, what is this walrus operator doing? What's the alternative? Chunk colon equals f dot read with this 8 kilobytes we're reading here. The alternative to this is to do an assignment first before our loop to that chunk variable, check the value of the chunk variable, and then for each iteration of our loop, assign back to the chunk variable. So I would argue that the assignment expression approach is more readable than the alternative because we've taken what was 3 lines of code and turned it into 1 line. For each iteration of our loop, we're grabbing a chunk, checking its truthiness to see have we reached the end of the file or not, and assigning it to a chunk variable all at the same time. So assignment expressions use something called the walrus operator. Assignment expressions are a way of taking an assignment statement and embedding it in another line of code. I don't recommend using them unless they make your code more readable.